Happy Tuesday! So yesterday we had technical difficulties with the video editor, and today, hopefully, it will all run smooth. So here's the story I wanted to share with you. Back in April of this year, on Facebook and kind of like all over social media, there were these pictures of this little chihuahua and a boxer, and they named them Little Miss and Buster. And they were roaming the streets, and they got picked up together, and this was down in Arizona. And Animal Control had picked them both up, but it was a mystery because no one came forth to claim them, and they didn't know whether they were raised together or whether they just teamed up, but they were really inseparable, and anybody who saw them just said, we can't separate these two dogs. It can't be done. They're bonded together. So, adopting out one adult dog can be a challenge, but adopting out two adult dogs of two completely different sizes is an even bigger challenge, because sometimes people are willing to take two dogs, but they either want two little dogs or two big dogs. People are into size. And to take one extreme to the other, it's a little hard. But the one thing that Little Miss and Buster had going for them was that the bond that they had together was evident. All you had to do is look at their pictures, and you knew that they had to go together. There's no way that you could take one and leave the other. Check them out. Now, shelters and rescues, they always end up giving dogs names just because just calling them D2715 doesn't really endear them to anybody. But sometimes, they get a little punchy when they have to name so many dogs, and sometimes the names get a little on the dull side. But I kind of tend to think, and my mom agrees, that Little Miss probably got her name because she's like Little Miss Muffet. And Buster is obviously her Tuffet. So when they started posting these pictures on social media, all kinds of people saw it and shared it, and everybody was really spreading the word and really rooting for Little Miss and Buster to get a home together. But there was one other little problem. See, the shelter realized that Buster had an issue with, on the side of his face, he had like a rash and some missing hair, and they didn't have the funding to do the testing and take care of him veterinary-wise to find out what it was. It could be something little, it could be something big, so that they had to mention this. So that was something else for adopters to consider, that he might be a good-sized vet bill, and taking two dogs. So back in the middle of April, the last thing that my mom heard was that they had a lot of qualified applicants where they had done their checks and making sure that people vetted their own animals and took good care of them and were responsible. And they had a lot of qualified applicants for Buster and Little Miss. And so they had said originally that if they had more than one applicant that qualified, they would do like a raffle. They would just pick one randomly out of the ones that qualified. And a family from California were the ones who had gotten picked. And that was the last my mom heard. And these little dogs were on her mind because she just thought they were just so precious, and she went in search the other day to see whatever happened to Little Miss and Buster. Now, sometimes my mom is kind of afraid to do these things because if she ends up finding out that one had something and it ended up having to be put to sleep, or if one got scared and ran away, or if it didn't work out and they ended up back at the shelter, that it would be weighing on her mind, and she's just, gets freaky with things like that, and she pets the fur off me because she gets upset. But turns out that Buster and Little Miss, they went to go on to be living large. It was like a Cinderella story. Now, the lady who came to get them, her name is Sonia, and she came down with her dog Ben, short for Bentley, and they met Little Miss and Buster, and here's their picture when she was picking them up to take them back to California. And here they are, all packed up in Sonia's vehicle with Bentley up front, and they're ready to head to California. And look at him smile. I mean, it's just amazing to see the change in Buster. A big smile on his face. He looks so relieved. And it's not because Little Miss is off of his back. No, no, that's not it. He knows. He knows he's got love and a family, and he's going to a home. And I'm sure that Sonia told them that they were going to go home and that life was going to be good. Look at him smile. That's great. It just makes my heart feel good. So Little Miss got a new name. Now it's Libby. And Buster has a new name. He's Charlie now. And it's always a good thing to change a dog's name to give them a kind of a new leash on life. And they seem to really get along well with Ben. And there's a video, and I'll put a link down in the comment section where you can see it's only a few days that they're home and they're walking through the neighborhood, Libby and Charlie and Ben with Sonia, and they're walking beautifully, and everybody's getting along well. It's really, really cool. So Libby and Charlie seem to be adjusting well. Here's some pictures from a couple weeks later, and then some about a month after their adoption, and they look like they're living the life. They went from roaming the streets and having to fend for themselves to living in Orange County, and life is grand. And I'm really, really happy for them, and so is my mom. She's so relieved. Check them out. And dogs are creatures of habit. So in case you're wondering, yes, Libby still uses Charlie for a tuffet. And I don't think he minds at all. And I'm going to put a link down too for another little video of Ben and Libby zooming all over the house. They're having a blast. It looks like it was great for everybody concerned. And it just warms my heart, and I hope it made you smile, knowing that sometimes fairy tales come true. And sometimes when you save an adult dog's life, something beautiful can happen. And saving two is really beautiful. So never roll out an adult dog. And I will see you tomorrow with a new video. Thanks for your patience. Bye.